these guys have won 3 big games against Australia, Spain, and Greece in the Olympics. Those are like a bunch of the better teams in this tournament, right? And they've made quick work of them. You're 3-0. You're moving on to the next round. You're hoping that you avoid the US until like either the semis or, well, I guess the final, which I don't know how it fully breaks out. I guess it depends on what happens in this France and Germany game at 3:00 today. But I don't know. I just think it's so crazy the place that this program's in right now, because you have Shea dominating, right? And then you get Nemhard coming off the bench with, what do you have, 18 in this game?
Yeah, 18.
And he just made all the plays down the stretch, 8 of 10 from the floor for Nemhard. That's high efficiency. And it's not like he was taking like easy shots. He was taking like threes over their trees. Like he's driving in the lane, hitting floaters. Like it was difficult shots. And my guy still shot 8 of 10 from the floor, 18 points off the bench. Shea with the game high 20 in this game. And he really did his damage from the free throw line, 5 of 10, which I don't think that's right. I saw them show 5 of 11.
5 for 11?
I remember I saw them show that, but this box score I'm watching right now on ESPN says 5 of 10. But anyway, Shea with 20 points, RJ with 16, including that massive 3 late, which really, I mean, essentially won the game. That was a big time play. The play of the game, I'd say. Shea driving, finding RJ for 3. And Canada, it's just no matter what, they're calm, they're cool, and they're just confident in each other. I love that replay that they showed of RJ like so hyped up and Shea just laughing, because like they expect this, right? Like they expect to win these games, and I think that's so dope. You're seeing the confidence. Before you came, I was talking about how like at the very start of the Olympics, they had the decision to make about the what do you call it, opening ceremonies. Mm-hmm. And Greece, obviously Giannis was the flag bearer for Greece, so they went. Canada's team didn't go to the opening ceremonies because they were playing the next day, and the venue was 2 hours away from where the opening ceremonies were taking place. So Canada decided, listen, 2 hours there, the opening ceremonies, and 2 hours back, plus it was in the rain. They made a great decision, but it also just showed me the confidence, like, oh no, we're here for the podium.
Yes.
We're not here for the opening ceremonies to like wave to the crowd and all that.
Real serious.
We'll do that when we have a medal on the podium. That's when we'll wave to the crowd and take all the pictures and all that. And I just thought like that just showed me the mentality that they're on. They're here for business. They're here for work. They're here to make sure that they're locked in and focused on the ultimate goal of medaling at the Olympics. And I just think it's almost like they skipped a step. And what I mean by that is, for so long, they were so close to making the Olympics and just would always fall short, right? Like they had teams good enough to make the Olympics over the 20 years, right? Between Steve Nash in 2000 and now. They had teams that could have made the Olympics, and just painful losses made them miss the Olympics. But now the team that finally gets there is legit. Do you know what I mean? Like some of those other teams could have qualified and they might not have been as good, but hey, we're in the Olympics. We played some games. Oh, we got a win at the Olympics. Cool. Oh, we made it out of the group. Cool. Oh, we made the quarterfinals. Yo, that's dope. But now when I'm saying like they skipped the step, it's like, no. They're here and now they're contenders to like win the shit. That's what I mean in terms of like they skipped
in the tournament. They're contenders.
Yes, they're not happy to be here. They're like, yes. And that is dope. Like, I don't know, man. I just think watching this team over the last, couple years and seeing how focused they are, seeing the fact that, they brought in Jordy Fernandez because Nick Nurse took the Philly job. And, then they had to find a coach. And it was tough decision to make, but Jordi Fernandez has been a great coach for them, right? There's still always part of me that's like, oh, maybe he should have been the Raptors coach. And that's not a knock to Darko, but I'm just saying I like Jordi Fernandez a lot. But 2 years later, after a bronze medal at the World Cup, Canada is now 3-0. They'll have a top 3 seed in the quarterfinals. So the seeding between the group winners, right? The USA right now is at plus 43. They play against Puerto Rico tomorrow. So the assumption is they're going to add to that, right? So they'll probably be the top seed. Germany or France, they play each other today. Germany's at plus 33. France is at plus 16. So basically, let's say France won the game and France wins by, let's say France wins by 3. That would give them a plus 19. Canada would leapfrog them essentially. Okay. Right? So it's a weird thing going forward, right? Because the toughest part to me is that if you're Canada right now, I'm reading this tweet here from Blake Murphy. Blake Murphy says they now await France and Germany outcome in plus minus and technically the US tomorrow to see if they'll be port 1 or port 2 in the quarterfinals draw. Either way, quarterfinals are Tuesday for Canada. That is hype. Olympic quarterfinals. Like, if you win that game in the quarterfinals, and now we're talking about they're playing in the semis, like, it's just what a time, right? Like, we're here. We're here. Team Canada, big time win. Big shouts to the people that tuned in to the live hangout, joining us on the stream, who've been watching along with us throughout the tournament as we've watched the Canadian men's and women's game on the live stream on the YouTube page. Reminder, that is under Sheldon Alexander. Big shouts if you were there. Bless the video with the like. That's how you support the movement that is the Canada Hoops Daily. Shouts to everybody that tuned in to this, the Canada Hoops Daily live hangout, as Canada beats Spain 88-85. Canada now advances to the quarterfinals. They win their group, a perfect 3-0, beating Spain, beating Australia, beating Greece. The group of death, Canada comes out victorious, moving on now to the quarterfinals. They're waiting on some point differential, some other games to see exactly what seed they'll be in the quarterfinals. But the point remains, Canada is moving on. They're undefeated in the Olympics so far. What a time to be alive indeed. We've been talking about it. We've been waiting for it. And now I feel like I'm at the point where I'm comfortably watching Canada games, just expecting them to beat anybody not named the US. Like, I'm not nervous. Like, I'll be nervous for the US game, but everybody else, I'm just kind of like, no, we got this. We got this. And it's just insane to think about, but I'll be nervous come the quarterfinals because it's just knockout stage, right? Like, you got to win, right? Like, even if they dropped this game today, you're still moving on to the quarterfinals, right? You're just going to have a lower seed. But the stakes are now up. Now it's winning time. Now it's medal time. Now it's, now this is why they've been working hard for the last few years. This is why people have been talking about, oh, Jamal Murray. Like, you need Jamal Murray to win these games, right? You're going to need the whole squad. And in this game, I thought Canada got a great performance from the whole squad. 88-85. You had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the way with 20 points. RJ Barrett with 16, but the X factor was definitely Andrew Nembhard. 18 points off Canada's bench, hit 2 big threes in the first half, but shot 8 of 10 overall in this game. And he really did great work in the first half, in which when Shai went to the bench, Nembhard and Jamal Murray really held it down for Team Canada. Again, you're going to look at Jamal Murray's stat line, and it's going to say 4 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. But the 5 assists, some of those were just beautiful Jamal Murray-esque type plays. And this was the first time so far in these Olympics where you saw the Jamal Murray-esque type plays multiple times throughout. You had him driving in the lane, no look dimes. You had him top of the key, did the whip around pass, like no look from the top of the key, finding Dwight Powell under the rim. Like Jamal Murray is just getting more and more comfortable to the point where we are now going to like appreciate the fact that you have Jamal Murray coming off the bench of your Olympic team. That is an incredible place to be if you are Team Canada, right? Like that is the depth that this program has, but also it shows me the buy-in from these guys that, you know, someone like Kelly Olynyk, who's been the face of the program since he was first in the league and played for this team for so long, and he's now accepting a bench role. Jamal Murray won an NBA championship last year, and he's like, no, that's cool. I'll come off the bench for Lou Dort because Lou Dort, his job is to play defense besides Shai. Cool. That is just ultimate buy-in, and we're seeing that from this team. RJ Barrett, who led the team in scoring the last 2 games, heading into this one, he doesn't come into this one thinking, oh, it's my time to shine. I got to force up shots. No, everything is still within the flow of the offense. And guess what? When the time came, guess who the ball finds? RJ Barrett, and he's able to knock down the biggest shot of the game. A huge 3 set up perfectly from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who continues to just be that dude for Team Canada. And a reminder, he was named Canada's Athlete of the Year last year, right? Which was funny. I'm not going to mention any names, but I was definitely told about some of the people who were arguing against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning Athlete of the Year last year. And I'm going to be honest and say that my opinions of said people have drastically changed because clearly you don't know what you're talking about. But anyways, I'll say this. If he won Canadian Athlete of the Year last year, and then all he did was proceed to have an MVP caliber season in the NBA, and now you're leading Canada in the Olympics to heights they haven't been before, I don't know. I'm just saying. This is an incredible place to be if you're Team Canada. They come out and they win against Spain in a must-win. Like the stakes for Spain, they played like their lives were on the line because if they won, they win the group. If they lost, they fall to third. So, and now need point differential to move on to the quarterfinals. So it was a massive game for Spain. And Canada just maintained control, maintained the tempo throughout. And I think that, you know, at this point now, everyone's going to be trying to figure out, oh, when's Canada going to face the U.S.? Joe Casaro from The Score, he says on Twitter, assuming a U.S. win tomorrow, I believe Canada's hopes of avoiding the American side of the bracket and a potential semifinal clash come down to needing France to beat Germany by 3 points or less, or beating Germany by 4 while scoring 95 points or less. So this is what I was saying earlier, right? Because the point differential. So this game at 3:00, everyone's going to be locked in watching France and Germany. That's going to be a massive game with huge implications for Team Canada, of course. But overall, Canada has figured out a way to get out of the group of death and advance with a top seed with a huge dub. And I mean, Spain, it looks like Spain might not make it to the next round just because of the way the point differential is shaking down. But like the fact that Canada was able to do that in crunch time, in winning time, to me is what made this game, like, I don't know, just the poise that Canada has, right? That they're going to make the plays when they need them. The fact that they could, you know, they didn't really shoot it that well from 35%, but you held Spain, who's one of the better three-point shooting teams in the world, you held them to 27%. So the fact that Canada was able to kind of win despite the game going the way that Spain wanted to play in terms of slow down, pick up, you know, slow tempo, and it didn't matter. Canada was able to still come through and make this game make all the plays down the stretch, to me, that's just what it is. I don't know. I just think it's an incredible performance. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in this tournament so far, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists against Greece, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists versus Australia, and then 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists against Spain. This stat here says Shai is averaging 19 points on 67.9 true shooting percentage in the Olympics. I mean, that is incredible. And you look at this, which I don't know what this means, but I'm sure Spain is just not liking Canada right now. So Canada wins this game 88-85, right? 88-85 is what Canada beat Spain in the World Cup last year. 88-85 is what Canada beat Spain in the Olympics this year. Both games eliminated Spain from the tournament. Like, I don't know, man. It's just a crazy, crazy time to be alive for a Canadian basketball fan. And you're led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's going to get all of the, headlines, as he should, because he makes the big time plays. But really, as advertised, this team, it's about the depth of the team. They're just able to get it done, figure out a way, even when the shots aren't falling, they can get defensive stops, even when they're dealing with the size, disadvantage because they're playing a bigger team like Spain. They still find a way to get the big rebounds when needed and figure out a way to earn another victory. Again, 3-0. 3-0 is Canada in the Olympics so far. Shouts to my guy LTZ in the Instagram chat, says big win, all caps. Big shouts to anybody who tuned in on the live chat as well. And really appreciate y'all for tuning in. And, the Canada versus Spain, big time game, big time recap, big times for Canada in said Olympics. I mean, Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort continue to do their thing defensively, and Shai, RJ handling the scoring. You get some extra pub from Andrew Nembhard. Just what a time to be alive indeed for Team Canada. Jamal Murray starting to look more like Jamal Murray. The Canada bench unit, Kem Birch is proving. A lot of people were wondering, okay, how are they going to, Canada's really undersized. People thought that might have been Zach Edey. Zach Edey decides that he's not going to play in the Olympics. He ends up going to Memphis Summer League. People are kind of wondering about Kem Birch. Kem Birch has been a solid fill-in for Team Canada, and he's been needed, and he's played well. And, I'm sure Zach Edey's regretting that decision right now of not playing for Canada's Olympic team. I'm sure also Andrew Wiggins is regretting his decision in terms of not playing in the Olympics. And, I know there was a lot of talk where people were blaming Golden State, but it was reported earlier that it was actually Wiggins' decision, more so than it was Golden State's decision not to play in the Olympics. And I said this before the tournament started that, I know it sounds crazy to say, but I don't think we need Andrew Wiggins. And I know that sounds crazy, but I really don't. He's just going to take minutes away from RJ, who's played so good, right? And, he's going to take minutes from, and you don't know the Wiggins that you're going to get, right? That's also the issue, really. We don't know. If they said to Wiggins the same thing that they say to Nikhil, where it's hey, you're going to come off the bench, but we need you to play full court defense, and that's your role. Is Wiggins buying into that? Or is he thinking, I'm just as good as Shai. I'm just as good as RJ, or I'm better than RJ. We don't know the Wiggins that you're going to get. My point overall is just saying I like the fact of the chemistry that this team has, and the fact that they built this program, this recent run here, with the core over the last 3 summers of Shai, RJ, Dylan Brooks, Dwight Powell, Kelly Olynyk. That's been the core. And then you add in Nembhard, you add in Jamal Murray. those guys have come in with the right temperament of accepting whatever role to fit in with the rest of the team. And if you don't have that, it's going to be a problem. You're going to have a situation where, like, look at what's going on with the U.S. team, how they play one game, Jason Tatum doesn't play, the whole internet goes crazy that Jason Tatum didn't play. Steve Kerr has to do an interview where he's saying, like, oh, I felt like an idiot. I didn't play Jason Tatum. And it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Somebody has to not play. And then what happens the next game? Oh, magically Jason Tatum's in the starting lineup? Like, you're telling me you didn't just do that just because, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. When you have to be managing egos like that, that can cause problems. And so far from Canada, we're just seeing team chemistry at an all-time high. Look at the montage of Joel Embiid looking just super salty on USA's bench the last game because he didn't play. And my guy just sitting there with his tracksuit on, hands in his pocket, not even like the whole bench is up cheering and Joel Embiid just like sitting there. There's none of that on Canada's team. And I like that. I just like, listen, I could go on for hours and hours and hours, but I got to stop at some point. We'll be back to do the next game for Team Canada, which will be the quarterfinals on Tuesday. What a time to be alive indeed. Canada wins 88-85 against Spain, eliminating them from the Olympics, which is crazy because they eliminated them from the World Cup last summer. Canada just has Spain's number. That's just what it seems like. It's like we said thank you for Marc Gasol and helping the Raptors get a championship. Now hold these L's. But hey, that's just how it goes sometimes. Sergio Scariolo, thank you for helping the Raptors win a championship. Now hold these L's. We appreciate that. We'll get you back at some other time. You know, the payment was the championship rings. We appreciate that. Canada's basketball program is here. While the women have been a disappointment, the men have more than made up for it with exceptional play through the first 3 games. I do want to have a long talk about the women's team at some point. I'm just trying to figure that out. We will do that maybe the next game that they play. I don't know when they play. They might play Sunday. We'll check on that. But the way to find that out is make sure that you subscribe to the Sheldon Alexander feed on YouTube. That's how you support the movement that is the Canada Hoops Daily brand. We're on YouTube. Just search Sheldon Alexander. You can find our wrap-up pods, and you can also find the live hangouts where we'll be watching the games continuously throughout, and of course a wrap-up. So recap pods, which you can also find those videos as well. So really appreciate that, everyone, for tuning in. Big shouts to the people that are on the YouTube page right now. Bless the video with the like on the way out. If you liked what you saw, liked what you heard, and you want to join us again next time, that's how you support the movement, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much to my guy, Ola, for checking in with me as well. Appreciate that. Everybody in the chat that made a comment, that commented on the Instagram page, really appreciate y'all there. Instagram was rocking. Lots of jokes there in that stream as well. Really appreciate everybody. Look out for the wrap-up podcast. It'll be up. The recap pod will be up momentarily of this pod as Canada wins. Big-time win. Going to the quarterfinals as winners of Group A, winners of the Group of Death, as they take down Spain, one of the perennial powers in international basketball, 88-85. Really appreciate that. Thank everybody for tuning in. And as I always say, I used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this. This is the Canada Hoops Daily live hangout. Also, the recap pod, all in one. We got you covered. You know what we do here. We provide you with basketball content on the daily, of course. And as always, we are unpolished and unapologetic. Until next time, see ya.